Namaste, everyone, and thank you for joining us for a yin yoga practice. My name is Kathy, and this is my awesome husband of 35 years, Dennis. And along with this practice, we're going to be sharing a story about the leaf in the wind. And to support the story, we'll be doing a little chanting with a mantra, which I'll tell you about later.
Yeah, so we are really psyched to be here today and really appreciate you joining us. And what I've also brought along with us are several instruments. I have a Native American flute for a very melodic, soft, gentle invocation to the practice, leading into guitars. And the guitars are going to be melodic throughout the whole practice in a meditative way, but in a supportive way of the story that Kathy will share, but also melodically for the chant that we'll all do together, by the way. That'll all lead into a crescendo, if you will, of the gongs for a gong bath Shavasana. So we're excited to be here today.
So let's get started. Find a comfortable seated position, whatever that might look like for you. Wiggle around a bit. Find your sit bones. And then close your eyes and drop into the breath. Detach yourself from anything else that's going on in your day right now. Detach from anything that's going on in your life right now. Just be present during the practice. If you're new to yin yoga, it's a style of practice that is very inward. It's about being still. We'll be holding each shape for 5 minutes, but don't worry, got a little timer here. I'll be watching the clock and letting you know when we're halfway through each shape, and then when we've got 30 seconds left to go. If at any time during the practice you encounter sharp shooting pain, definitely come out of the shape. Honor yourself, honor your body. Now opening those eyes, and let's move into our first shape. So send your left leg straight out in front of you. Your right knee stays bent. You're going to cross that right foot over the left side of that left leg. So we're going to do a seated twist here. You can stay right here. This is a great place to be. Or if you'd like, you could take that left foot and swing it around. So the right knee's pointing up. The right foot is firm on the floor. Your right hand goes behind you as a little kickstand. And then just let your left elbow reach around that right knee. Your gaze should be towards the side, so not over that right shoulder, but just turning towards the side. And close your eyes here. Sit up nice and tall. Check in with that right shoulder. Relax it down. Use just enough energy to hold the shape, no more, no less. Relax the left hand, just let it go limp. Just gentle, slow breathing here as we hold the shape for 5 minutes. stories about the leaf in the wind. The leaf looked out across the broad, beautiful sky and down over the lush spring garden. As it moved, the leaf saw all the corners of the garden with its flowers, bushes, trees, and animals. The leaf stretched to catch every sight and sound. You see, it was a new leaf at the top of a very old tree. The leaf adored all the elements, the wind, the sun, and the rain, but it was in love with the wind. The wind gave it the freedom of motion. Without the breeze, it would never have seen the world below or from side to side. The wind rocked leaf to sleep and shook it awake. Wind made leaf dance. So at the midway point of each shape, we have the option to move slightly to make it more comfortable, or to deepen the shape, or slightly come out of the shape. So in your twist now, you decide if you want to twist a little more. You could move that right hand around a little more to the right and twist a little deeper, or you might grab that left knee in a little different spot to increase the twist, or you might find that you need to back out. Either way, once you've made any kind of adjustment, come back to stillness. Close your eyes. On many days, wind told leaf of the places it had been. All across the rivers and down to the sea have I been, whispered the wind. On one particular day, leaf could even smell the scent of the water and the salty places of which wind spoke. Great. Stay with the shape. Staying right here for 30 seconds more. Carefully unwinding, straighten your legs out. You're going to lie flat on your back here, so just slowly roll down, staying here on your back. This is called a transition shape, so we'll be coming back to this shape after every yin shape. Just resting here, allowing the energy to move around. So the transition shapes are just as important as the yin shapes. Just as important to remain still in these shapes as well. 3 more breaths right here, lying on your back. Slowly bring yourself up to a seated position once again. So it's going to be yogi's choice in this shape. The first option is called fire log or square pose in yin. The right knee is resting on top of the left ankle, and the right ankle is resting on top of the left knee, and you're making a little stack of your shins, like fire logs right here. Now you may choose to put some kind of prop, a block, or bolster or a blanket under that right knee if you need to. So this is option 1. Option 2 is shoelace, where you're stacking the right knee directly on top of the left knee. So you decide which one you want, square or shoelace. And once you've found that shape, move forward any amount. It might be just a couple inches, or you might choose to go a little deeper in the shape, just moving into the shape to that first edge, that first place of sensation that you encounter, which could be in your right hip. Once you get there, relax into it. Have a block handy, you could place it right underneath your forehead if you're low enough to do so, or if you have a bolster, you could also place that under your forehead, just to support the neck a little bit. Whenever the wind blew past, be it a breeze or a gale, the little green leaf waved a joyful greeting to wind, like the hand of a happy child to a loved one. I will love you for all time, leaf whispered to the moving air around it. I could not be happier. Relax a little more in the shape. Check in, make sure you're not holding in any places in your body, not clenching anywhere. Check in with that jaw, wiggle it around a bit. We're at the midway point. See what you need in your body. Do you need any kind of little wiggling, any kind of adjusting to make it slightly more comfortable? Once you've done that, just come back to stillness, committing to the stillness. Tree was listening to the conversation between leaf and wind, and he emitted a deep chuckle. I am glad you are happy now, Tree said. Enjoy your youth and beauty while you can, for soon enough you will be withered and brown, dry as dust, and blown away by the same breeze that stirs your heart today. Your time will come to curse the wind in the way of things. Wind is old and you are young. We should ask wind about this sometime. chant that goes along with this story is a simple one. It's Om Vauyus Namaha Namaha. Vayu is the Sanskrit word for wind. Namaha means it's not about me, or it's not me. So this chant is asking the wind for guidance and intelligence. 30 seconds more here. Can you relax even more? Now, inhaling and push your torso up. Unwind those legs and come to lay on your back. Once again, straighten out the legs, lay all the way down. Settle in here. Now let's chant this chant together. Om Vauyus Namaha Namaha. Om Vauyus Namaha Namaha. Two more times. Om Vauyus Namaha Namaha. Last time. Om Vauyus Namaha Namaha. So chanting is very integral to yoga. Doesn't matter what you sound like, if you're a singer, if you're in key or hit the notes or pronounce the words right. Just do your best. You could do it silently or even just say the words to yourself if that feels better. So a couple more breaths here. Now, come up to a shape called deer. So in this shape, the right shin is parallel to the front of your mat. The left foot is behind you. And don't worry about which way this left foot turns. It could point straight back or to the left or internally, whichever is most comfortable for you. The inside of the right foot is just resting on inside the left leg. And then you're going to walk yourself over your right knee, down and down and down, and maybe dropping your head to the floor. Now, if you'd like a little more, you could walk yourself a little more to the right and down. So just find the position that works for you, and that left hip is definitely going to come off the mat, so don't worry about that. Walk yourself down. Find a comfortable spot. This is a great shape for surrender. Let everything go. Tree said no more. Leaf tried not to think about what tree had said. Of course, Leaf had heard the stories of how leaves grow old and die, but still, it would never be hateful. That very day, Leaf made a decision. It shouted to the world, "I will never hate wind. I will not give in to fear, sorrow, or unhappiness." Still, the next time wind came to call, Leaf could not help but ask, "When I become old, dry, and brittle, will you destroy me, as Tree says?" Wind was silent for a long time, and then finally answered, "I will not destroy you, my dear one. All earthly things grow old and dry. That is not my doing." So we're at the midway point here of the shape. So if you're looking for a little more sensation, you could move a little more to the right and towards the back of your mat and then drop down there. Or you might choose to stay exactly where you are. It's perfectly fine. We should never move deeper into a shape than our body wants us to. There's a 3-letter word for that. When we move too deep before our body is ready, and that's called ego. So if you find yourself sore after a yin yoga practice, you might have gone too deep. You might have let that ego slip in. The whole point of yin is to relax the muscles so we get into the connective tissue, stretch those, make them juicier, especially as we age. Let go a little more here. Be like a sloth in this shape. Seconds more here. Let your inhale bring you up and out of the shape. Once again, you're going to come to lie on your back. So moving those legs out in front of you. Lie down. Resting here in the shape. This transition pose. And just notice if you feel any tingling sensations or energy moving through your body. Stay right here on your back. leaf was shaking and wind could hear the fear beginning to overtake wind. Wind added, "Keep your promise not to give in to hate and sorrow. When the time comes for you to fall, I will be there to catch you. It will be a beginning and not an end for you." And staying on your back for this next shape, bring the soles of your feet together and let the knees fall open wide. So your feet can be really close to your body, which makes it more challenging, or they might be a little further away. You choose. And then your hands can be anywhere on your belly, on your legs, overhead, cactus arms. You choose what feels right for your body. Just let gravity have you here, relaxing into the shape. Let go of any tension on the inner thighs. Time passed and leaf grew and changed. At first, it became very big and strong. Then, as the air grew chilly, leaf began to take on the most magnificent colors. First a yellow cast, and then little patches of red and gold began to creep across it. Tree said to leaf, "It is the beginning of the end for you and all of your kind. Soon you will be nothing but a speck in the dirt." All the other leaves on the tree began to droop, and some even tumbled from their homes early as the weight of that unhappy thought dragged them down to the earth. Staying in this shape, this lying butterfly shape. And at the midway point here, you may choose to adjust where your feet are. You could move them a little closer in, or maybe you slide them a little further away from you. And just notice the difference in how that feels on your inner thighs or on your back. Commit to the stillness again for the remaining time in this shape. As the days passed, leaf began to feel thin and tired. The bright colors that covered leaf darkened to brown. And the little leaf knew its time was growing short. Still, it would not be sad, because every day now, wind told leaf of the wonderful adventures that were to come. present moment, or has your mind wandered off somewhere? Bring it back to this moment, this shape, this breath. Staying present here for just 30 seconds more. Just straighten those legs out, just lying flat on your back. And we'll do this chant again. We'll sing it 3 times. Om Vauyus Namaha Namaha. Om Vauyus Namaha. Chanting in our yoga practice brings this extra special quality to it, this extra element. It makes it even more sacred. So take one more breath. And then come up to a seated position as we move through those same shapes on the other side. So the first one will be that seated twist. Leave the right leg straight. Left knee bends up. Cross the left foot on the other side of the right leg. And opting to stay right here or sliding that right foot around. Sitting up nice and tall, wrap your right elbow around that left knee, and then left hand goes behind you. And again, take the gaze sort of straight in front of you, but not looking over that left shoulder. Might be a little much for your neck. So sitting up tall, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing that right hand. Closing your eyes. And giving into the twist here. Just seeing leaf cling to happiness while all those around it fell, made tree really angry. One day it could stand it no longer. So when wind came to call, tree shook for all it was worth, and leaf snapped away from its branch and began to fall. Tree watched and waited for leaf to scream and cry, to realize what horror had just befallen it. Instead, tree heard the sound of laughter. You see, one moment leaf was held fast to tree, and the next it was falling, flipping end over end. Laughed in pure joy and said, "I am flying. I am soaring like a little bird." from your twisted position at this midway point. If you'd like to go a little deeper, you could walk those fingers behind you, those left fingers around a little more. And sit up tall and straight. Maybe grip that knee a little differently. And then come back to stillness. Be as relaxed as possible in this shape, but still maintaining the pose. At that moment when a leaf was falling, it felt something lifted up. It was wind come to keep his promise. The wind said to leaf, I cannot take you far right now, just to rest on the ground. But no matter what happens, do not be afraid. I will return for you. Staying in your twist, finding that stillness, resisting any temptation or urge to move or come out of it. Just stay right where you are in that twist. Seconds more here. Gently unwinding now and straightening out those legs on your mat. Coming down. Once again, just lying flat on your back. Resting here. Take a little inventory. How do you feel? Feel more at peace than when you started the practice. Feel a little calmer. Embrace that peacefulness. Embrace that calmness that you've created for yourself. Two more breaths right here. And then bring yourself up to a seated position as we move into either shoelace or fire log square. So left knee is going to be on top this time. Left knee on top of right ankle. If you're choosing this shape, or if you're choosing shoelace, it's left knee on top of right knee. So you decide which pose is best for you. I suggest you do the one you did on the other side. Come into the shape and then lean forward, maybe just a little bit or maybe quite a bit. And if you have a prop, again, you could stick it under your forehead just to give your neck a little rest. So check in with that left hip. See if you can't release it a little more. These hip openers can be challenging for sure. Just do your best. Do it for yourself. Wind carried leaf ever so gently to the ground and allowed it to rest there. Leaf could feel the rumble of the roots from tree as it laughed and said, "You see, now you are ready to become like all the others. It's just as I said, you should give up now." But Leaf was not affected by Tree's words. It did not answer, but it lay quietly, looking up at the world. It all looks so different now. After a while, Leaf nodded off to sleep, and a long time passed before it woke up. Point of the shape to wiggle, adjust, do what you need to do to make it a little more comfortable. Maybe go a little deeper into the shape. And if you've made any movement, come back to stillness. The stillness is one of the most important things of Yin Yoga. Sometimes it's really challenging for us to be still though. Our bodies like to move. Just commit to the stillness over and over and over again during this practice. Instead of feeling old, stiff and papery, Leaf felt suddenly free to move about. It could hear wind singing softly through the trees and felt itself being lifted and spun higher and higher. Wind said to Leaf, "Did I not promise all would be well? You have become the dust of the earth, so light and so fine that I can carry you with me anywhere." Seconds more here. Just marinate in this place, in this shape. The shape and straighten those legs, moving as slow as you need to. Sometimes lot of these shapes can be challenging. And come to lie flat on your back like we've been doing between all the shapes. Just lie flat on your back. We'll do this chant one last time. Om Vauyus Namaha Namaha. So sing along with us. Chanting to the wind, to bring us wisdom. Take 2 more breaths here, lying on your back. For deer pose once again. This time, the right foot is to the side and the left shin is parallel to the front of your mat. And you choose to go over that left knee, walk it down. Or you might choose to move a little to the left, to the back of your mat and down. So just moving over that left leg in some fashion, and supporting the head if you can, either on the mat or with your hands or maybe with a block or a bolster. And the right hip's going to come off the mat a little bit. That's all normal. Sink into this pose deeply. Become limp, if you will. And so wind carried the dust of leaf and scattered it over fields, onto the backs of birds that flew to the mountains, and into the streams that led to the oceans. Finally, wind seeded the clouds with the last few tiny grains that were once leaf, and leaf came back to earth with rains and snows. Everywhere it fell, the remains of leaf brought a grain of pure joy, a drop of hope, and a touch of love for wind and for life. So if you ever wonder which leaves listen to wind or which leaves listen to tree, look up on a stormy day and see which ones wave a joyous greeting and which ones fall down in sorrow. So at the midway point, once again, you have the choice. You could stay right where you are, or you could move a little bit more to the back of your mat. Staying right there. Going even more limp, if you can, in the shape. So I love this little story about the leaf in the wind. It's a reminder that we need more people in our life, more friends, family in our life that are like the wind, that lift us up, that give us hope. And less people like tree, who are always negative, bringing us down. Maybe the next time you have a windy day, you'll remember the story about the leaf in the wind. Remember the message too. Never give up hope. "30 seconds left here." Maybe you take the breath a little deeper here. Now inhale your way up and out of the shape and move into Shavasana. So extending the legs out in front of you, lying on your back, maybe separating the feet and arms away from your body. Dennis is going to give us a beautiful gong bath Shavasana. Just take this time for yourself to fall into deep meditative states of relaxation.
Softly deepen your breath. Allow your awareness to return from Shavasana. Perhaps you bring gentle motion to the fingers, the toes. And maybe roll the head side to side. And very slowly roll to your right side and pause. Just take a moment here to reflect upon the practice, reflect upon the story. Reflect upon the mantra. And very gently make your way into a comfortable seated position. And as you arrive there, close your eyes. Allow the palms to meet at the heart center in Anjali Mudra. As you breathe here, feel your pulse, feel the wind within you. Feel the breath within you. And we ask through this mantra that that wind be clean and clear and healing. And through this mantra we ask that the earth's air be clean and clear. Om Vauyus Namaha Namaha. Thank you for joining us for this practice. Namaste.